You know when you watch a movie and see a really cool thing? When I was 15, I saw this guy in Avengers 2 and I thought, holy shit, running is really cool. And you want more of that and you watch more media like it. I watched every Usain Bolt video, then I discovered The Flash, which was pretty fun until it went down the drain. After all of that, you feel like Tom Cruise watching anything, like, hey, I can do that. I liked running so much that I joined my school's track and field team. I am one of those guys who watches Whiplash and the next thing I'm doing is looking for someone to verbally and psychologically abuse me. Oh, I'm playing drums too. But with that said, I watched John Wick. New to my knowledge, killing people is illegal in most countries, and assassin's classes are not widely available. Trust me, I looked. So I went to the next best thing. Movies. Wanted, Nobody, The Equalizer, The Bourne movies. I watched basically every Jason Statham movie. It was hell, and after I consumed all of that, I found a manga about it. Sakamoto Days is an assassin's manga by Shonen Jump. It tells the story of Taro Sakamoto, this cool, tough-as-nails assassin, the world's greatest hitman, until one day while shopping, he met the love of his life, and he decides to abandon his life as an assassin, gets married, has a baby, and opens a convenience store where he lives a peaceful life with his dear family. That is, of course, until old friends and new problems start to arise, endangering his family, to which he must come back to his old world to protect his loved ones. And after all this plot, a lot of stuff started to click together. So I went and rewatched John Wick, and they looked very similar. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, without the depressing parts. Imagine John Wick with a wholesome vibe in a convenience store. Oh, and he's fat. And after reading about 82 chapters, I could describe it as... You know when you're just walking around and find a cool looking steak lying around? You pick it up and something just clicks in your head. It doesn't matter your age, if you're a boy or a girl, if you're tall or short. Cool people instinctively will think they are John Wick. When you're a kid, you can have fun with anything. Grab a stick and think a sword or a gun, and the rest is up to your imagination. Reading Sakamoto Days feel like that same fun you used to have. While these two have a lot in common, Sakamoto Days is still a shonen manga. Their tones are vastly different. John Wick is gritty, serious, and realistic to an extent. Although I don't know how realistic it is for a person surviving this. Sakamoto Days is far opposite. It's fun, it's colorful, it never takes itself too seriously. Almost like a cartoon, you could say. People fight with pens, deflect bullets with forks, and all sorts of weird stuff that adds a lot of charm to the whole thing. One of the things that they do have in common is just how simple they are. John Wick is pretty straightforward. Theon Greyjoy did a bad thing. Well, rip, we know what happens next. In Sakamoto Days too, we don't have a Game of Thrones levels of complicated plot. It's just fun, but not dumb fun. Sakamoto Days is not complicated fun. For example, I am currently reading Jujutsu Kaisen, an amazing manga and show, but the powers there are basically theoretical physics stuff. And although it's really cool, it just takes me out of the story to try to comprehend the powers sometimes. Same with Hunter x Hunter. I love Hunter x Hunter, but reading the latest chapters is literally the too much text meme. Like, alright, yeah, I don't get it. It's too much for my dumb brain to handle. Sakamoto Days is simple. There's a bad guy. Shoot him. But with John Wick being a movie, it comes with a lot more elements to enhance the viewer's experience. Sound. Visual effects.
This suit sucks.
The acting itself. With Sakamoto Days being a black and white manga, it has way less of a room to convey those same things. With manga being a visual medium, the art and the art style are the first thing that pop into your eyes when you read them, so you kinda have to have good art to stand out. And holy shit, does it stand out. I mean, just look at the covers. The man doesn't miss. All the main cast looks amazing. We have Sakamoto, Shin, Lu, this guy, Nagumo, and these other guys, and the villains, and... Alright, look, I'll say this right away. I love this girl. I don't know why. She appears in one chapter in one panel. She has like 2 lines of dialogue and never appears again. She has absolutely no relevance in the story, and yet, she's burned in my mind. Same with this lady cop. I have absolutely no basis why, but I always think she looks out from a 70s manga. And this happens with a lot of the characters. They have such fun and peculiar designs that makes them all the more enjoyable to read. And they have the personalities too. It's so much fun to watch the antics Sakamoto and Shin go through to protect the family. How Sakamoto's t-shirts always changes to really non-inconspicuous things, like when he goes undercover as a student and his t-shirt just says, a student. I love seeing Shin being a movie buff and a geek. I love Lu being a drunken mess, and Nagumo lie every time for no reason with a smile on his face. They can kick ass anytime they want, but these funny characters and their dynamics are the ones that keep me reading. Well, that's not the only thing that keeps me reading. Both Sakamoto Days and John Wick being heavy action stories, one aspect that they have to, and they do excel at, is the stellar action choreography. And I didn't used to think that this was very important. When someone mentioned action choreography, I just thought of that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Until I realized why in fact it's very important. You know when you watch a fight happen, and for the love of God you're gonna tell what's going on? You're staring at the page trying to put this fight together in order to understand, and you just can't. Yes, yeah, I'm talking to you. In my mind, the core of a fight is the characters present in it. If it's the protagonist, you will want them to win. If it's the bad guys, you will want them defeated. In the process of one of these outcomes is the fight itself, in which the tension will build up in order to reach a more satisfactory conclusion. We will fear for our protagonist and root for him, and then, hopefully, he will win. All of this is achieved with good action choreography. With a bad one, instead of worrying about the main character in the fight, you will spend your time trying to comprehend what the hell is happening, and that will create a disconnection with the story, which will distract you from the main point of the fight, the characters. That's why the fight scenes in John Wick and Sakamoto Days are great. Every slash, every hit, every gunshot skills are clear, and the whole story maintains a certain flow. But with Sakamoto Days, the art not only enhances the traits of a good fight, but it also adds by conveying the intensity and urgency present in every fight. You'll often get a panel out of the blue where the style changes drastically, it goes all sketchy, and the rapid change builds up the uneasiness of the scene. Like as if something is out of place all of a sudden. It makes it very clear, yeah, this guy's bad news.
The aspect in which Sakamoto Days surpasses John Wick is in the antagonist. With John Wick, it's pretty much John against his enemies. They just serve as a mission to complete, an obstacle. Here, however, we have a full roster that changes throughout the series. We start as usual with the weekly villains, the tutorial level thugs. They serve to set a standard to the power levels and how creative the fights can be. And also, the pacing. The arcs in the fights are never too long, so you never get the chance to get bored, while in the quieter parts you get to know the setup of the story and new interesting characters appear. But as with every other shonen, we also have our main group of bad guys, but it's not just the Akatsuki with the skin. And the first thing you can tell is that they behave just like any other guy. In Naruto, we never see the Akatsuki doing anything but their plans and talking by Chakrasum. In Sakamoto Days, you often see a lot of the characters, protagonists or antagonists, just joking around and being lazy and doing casual mundane things. They are the villains, but they also have the personalities and quirks unique to them, just like our heroes. But if we didn't know the stuff they actually do, we could mistake them just for side characters. Something really important considering that everyone in this manga is an assassin. Well, kind of. So morality here is relative, and that ambiguity really blurs how you can judge a character, especially the antagonists, who we don't know them all that well. But if I'm totally honest, as good as John Wick is, I can't help but feel a little bit bored in the second half. After the deed is done, it feels a little bit empty without our main motivation, like it goes on and on just for the sake of it. That's where Sakamoto Days comes in. It has everything John Wick has, well, except movement and sound, and a really good story that keeps you engaged all the time. Or maybe I've been just reading too much manga, I don't know. So yeah, thanks for watching. Honestly, I was afraid that I made this video just to do it, but then I catched up with the manga and I was like, whew, yeah, I do like it. Anyway, if you liked the video, subscribe. If you didn't, subscribe either way. And go check out Sakamoto Days before it gets an anime.